Hello. So, before we begin our program, our journey of learning about the tarot, you will, of course, need a deck of cards. I've designed a number of decks of cards, but there's two. One that is that's been printed generally, and the one that I'm going to be using is one that I've produced. Uh, the major arcana cards are available. They look like this. I have made the full deck, but the full deck is not yet available for printing. You can see that somewhat what the cards look like. I love this deck. This is the deck that I use when I use cards, and it is black and white with a hint of other colors. And it is available from me if you want to get copies of this deck. I also have a nascent book, really more like the outline of a book that includes some of the exercises and some of the ideas that I'll be talking about as we go through this process. And if you would like information about that, or if you would like to purchase this deck, the major arcana cards only is what's available right now. Although eventually the full deck will be available. Contact me on the email on the above my head. I also have the other deck that I mentioned earlier. This deck was printed by New Line when I did my show for AOL. And this deck is much more colorful. The cards look like, I'll show you some of these cards. And this deck comes with a fantastic booklet that, as I said in the earlier video that I posted, I myself remain surprised at that booklet, just how clear and concise and direct it is. It is especially good, and it's focused on if you pick a card a day. It says something about like what kinds of things this card means when you pick a card a day, and what kinds of things it means when it comes up in a reading, and it talks in a very clear, concise, direct, grounded and down-to-earth way about the meanings of the card. It's a great little booklet. It doesn't go a lot into the deeper meanings of the cards, but it certainly gives a sense of them. So that deck is also available from me, and you can contact me again at the email at my email address above my head or over my forehead if you want information about how to get either of those two decks, or the book that the draft of the book that is available right now. When I have my website, you'll be able to go to those, and you'll be able to go to there and purchase anything you want and see copies of it or whatever. But right now, I don't have a website, so that's not available yet. There are many decks. There's the famous or infamous Rider-Waite deck, which is many people's first deck, and many people are aware of. There's also the Rider-Waite deck with Pamela Coleman is the artist. The Aleister Crowley deck, the artist being Lady Freda Harris, and that's another great deck. Those are two of the most influential decks that people use. And then my first deck was the IJJ Swiss deck. That's the box for it. And the cards, let's see, I had the cards out. Oh, they look something like this. These are the cards for the IJJ Swiss deck. This is not an easy deck to read. The easiest decks to read are decks that are similar to or that are derived from the Rider-Waite deck, where there's a card for every, like all the minor cards and all the major cards have pictures. But, it's important to get a deck that you feel comfortable with, that is easy for you to use, that you relate to, and that you enjoy. We have set ourselves now on the program of working through the 22 cards of the major arcana. And on a 22-day program of working through these cards, setting an intention that sets the goal or the idea or the purpose of our journey for these 22 days. I mentioned that 21 days, and the cards are numbered 0 through 21. So really the first day, the Fool, 0, it's not officially part of the journey. The journey is 1 through 21. But the 21 days is supposedly, according to some scientific studies, the length of time that it takes to imprint a new behavior pattern, to change a habit and imprint a new behavior pattern on your body, mind, consciousness. So we are going to be beginning a journey with the idea of moving towards something that we would like to see in our lives, or something that we'd like to experience or understand or gain greater knowledge or understanding about, or greater mastery over in a very physical way. You can set whatever intention you want. It can be grand, it can be small, it can be specific, it can be general, and then we see what happens. No matter what you think, we set the intention that we think, where we think we're going. But the goal is really, truly always self-knowledge. No matter what we think it is, that's ultimately always the goal. And self-knowledge always brings us to a deeper understanding of our shared humanity and our shared divinity, or really immortality. With that in mind, first of all, when we have the card for the day, set it out and look at it. Let it reflect on it, meditate it, let it sink in. Also, I encourage you to take as long as you need with each card. It doesn't really have to be 21 or 22 days. It should be at least a day a card, but if you feel you need a couple of days or a week or whatever with a card, take that time, because that's appropriate to your journey, and there's something important for you to learn at that stage. It's very important to listen to what comes up and follow your own intuition and your own guidance as well in this. Remember again that to both set the intention but to hold it lightly. We the blessings and the difficulties that we encounter in this lifetime, it is important how we face them, how we deal with them. But remember, there's no solving it all. The only point at which it's all solved is when you're dead. That in the course of a lifetime, nobody gets everything. Nobody has all the goodies all the time. And sometimes it all comes together, and sometimes it all falls apart. But most of the time, we struggle with like something that's good and something that's not. And if we think we could just get that one thing working, then everything would be fine. But it doesn't happen like that. We get one thing working and something else falls out of place. That's the way of it. That's the game. And it's important to recognize that to hold our intention lightly with the awareness that on some level it is a game, and on some level, we're all going to be dead. All fortunes are ultimately lost, and it's just about playing with the path that we're on. We are co-creators with God. We are part of a divine play. Whether you think you're the plaything or whether you think you're the player, it doesn't really matter. There's a play going on. And the ultimate true reality is always bigger and deeper and broader and more expansive than any of us can imagine, than our own limited self or our own limited desires or issues or goals or problems would tell us that they are. So with that lightly held intention, tomorrow we will embark on our journey with the Fool.